Welcome to Emuna is Our Future with Purim masks and healing. So we all know what Purim masks are, and we've been posting some nice posts from our Breast of Israel team. We're sitting in Chut Shel Chesed, Rav Shalom Orish's wonderful institute and yeshiva in our holy city of Jerusalem on, thank God, almost spring day. And it happens to be tonight is a big night, Zion Adar. It's not only a big night for Moshe Rabbeinu, who's Yotzai, and Yom Yoledet, his birthday, and also Moshe Rabbeinu wore a mask, as we learn in the Torah. But there's also a connection because it's also my wife's, my soulmate. Yes, maybe she's watching. My soulmate's Yom Yoledet Sameach, to my wife, to my wonderful Eza Kenegdo, my wonderful soul partner. Unbelievable. Wow. She chose me. I chose her. And I wish everybody out there, we got a lot of good feedback from last week's class about soulmates. And I wish everybody also to have a lot of success in their journey to find their soulmate. And once they found them, to really appreciate them and to join together with them. And we have to really appreciate these moments together that we can talk over the special days that we're in. Not only is it, like we said, Zion Adar, but also it's a week before Purim and a week before my 40th birthday. Unbelievable. 40 years old. And it says in the Pirkei Avos, 40 is the time of understanding, of internalization. So whatever we're learning here, hopefully is coming from a little bit of understanding, and hopefully you'll have a bit more understanding to me if things are a little bit more all over the place. It's been a busy time. We've got to get ready for Purim. Purim is a big time. And thank God, I just helped a very nice booking opportunity for Nissan Black. He's going to be in Istanbul. Wow. Istanbul, even with this coronavirus, there's an opportunity to travel still. And he'll be in New York just before that. So we have opportunities to connect with people in a global sense through the online feed and our wonderful edited classes, which we're looking forward to hopefully get by the end of the week. And we can have for the new Shabbos, Parshas Tetzaveh, Parshas Zochor. There's a lot going on, always this way during the Daled Parshas, during Chodesh Adar, during this time, this month, where there's so much packed in with Purim and the four Parshas, and we're learning with Rav Elgod about Mechitzas Shekel, and we're learning from Rav Yonatan Galed about strengthening our Emuna, and obviously that's one of the biggest solutions to get rid of Amalek, which is what our mitzvah d'oraisa this week. How do we get rid of those negative thoughts, those negative feelings, and that negative force that exists in the world? And not only that, just to bring it all together, today is the election day. So who's voting? Who are you voting for? So I haven't done it yet. Rav Shalom Orish, I wrote already, I put on the post that he publicizes that he votes for Shas and Bibi. Me personally, I'm not going to say publicly, it's not your business who I vote for. And I, being Ashkenazi, there's always a little bit of a different flow exactly where we go in terms of, Shas and all this. But the main thing is that everyone should do what they're supposed to do, that bring more positivity in the world. And please God, it should come out with a good result, that this state or Medina that we live in should be governed in the best way possible. And we should only have good news. So now, how do we crown the king on Purim? How do we do it? So if anyone would open up a Megillah, I once tried to write one. It's quite a long thing and very artistic as well. If you look at a Megillah scroll, you open it up, a Megillah Esther, and my son kept asking me, why is it called Esther, not Mordechai? It's a good question. But you open up Megillah Esther, and you see this big words, there's crowns and Hamelech. Yeah, so we already get a tikkun from the corona, from the crown, with the big crowns in the Megillah. Hamelech, the king. We're crowning this king. And we're doing this a big part of Purim. And really the goal is to bring this into every day, because Purim comes and goes. But it says in the beautiful Midrashim and our holy books that the light of Purim will be the light of Mashiach. So the light that we're experiencing right now, especially on Purim, is going to be a little bit ma'ain of understanding of what it means on a little level of when Mashiach comes, and how basically nature will be turned into the miraculous. There'll no longer be that difference between miracles and nature. And that's one of the reasons why when the Messiah comes and the world goes into that next stage, that 7th millennium, we're already in the 6th and we're heading into the 7th. Once we enter that Yom Shekudah Shabbos, which is very close, and you feel that in the air, once you enter that world, it's going to be a world where constantly Hashem's going to reveal himself in this world. So there's going to be no need for any cover up or Hester or Esther, anything covered up in a way. There's no reason for all this political intrigue. It will be very clear that the hand of Hashem is guiding through everything. So all the elections and all the guiding of how people make a living, and everyone's mission will be clear. Each person will know where they're supposed to be and supposed to live. There'll be no need for envy, for jealousy, because everyone will have what they're supposed to have. It's this utopian understanding, and it won't be, God forbid, any false ideas. It'll be totally clear and true, and I'm very excited because it's coming soon. But the point of Purim is to get us into that mindset that it should be an everyday experience. That the king is not only a huge theme, the idea of Hamelech, it's not only a huge theme of the Megillah, but it's also a huge theme of our relationship with God, and very much connects into Rav Shalom Orish's teachings. I had the merit to be by a Tzaddik, Rav Simai Zilberberg, and I watched him every time Esther Malka was in the Megillah, during the Kriya, during the reading, and I watched every time she was talking to the king, and I watched the way Rav Simai Zilberberg was really he was just experiencing what it means to talk to the king. And that was really the real truth, the true king. That was what Esther Amalka, when she was the queen of basically most of the world, 127 Medinas, 127 countries, with Achashverosh crowning her as his queen, she was able to, Achashverosh, to be able to talk to the real king. And not just the king physical one, but that was the understanding, her spiritual connection through Emuna, through his bodhidas, through these eitzes, through these advice of Tzaddikim, of Mordechai Tzaddik at that time, to be able to talk to the real king. And those prayers, those tefillahs, those beseeching, this constant beseeching you see again and again in the Megillah, go to the words yourself. I recommend to read it before Purim itself, open up the Megillah and see how Esther is beseeching again and again the king of all kings, the ultimate king, and bringing down the redemption that we needed at that time and for all the generations, because really, in a way, there's always this concept of, God forbid, of Amalek and people who want to destroy us as a people. And, it's not just like fairy tales, just look in recent history with Hitler, Machshamo, and the Nazis, Machshamo, and then all the different, countries that wanted to destroy and wipe Israel off the map. And, thank God, as much as they tried and as much as there was tremendous tragedy and disasters, but ultimately we're still here. Not even that, we're here in a strong way. We're here in Eretz Yisrael, we're here with a beautiful nation with high tech and understandings and science, and hopefully we're even coming up with the vaccine for corona and all the other wonderful things that the Jewish people are accomplishing, all the Torah and the davening, the praying, the learning, and the spirituality of Jerusalem and the whole of Eretz Yisrael and the whole world really. Like I said, we're sending this in black all around, and please God, one day our Emuna tour will make it to South Africa, we'll make it to all these places. And we've done it as we've done in the past, and please God, I'm never giving up. We've got opportunity. People to reach out to host. People are telling me, there's not as much this and that and different. They can't maybe host as easy as in the past, but whatever the excuses are, there's opportunity to do it anyway and to make it a reality. That Rav Orish should be there and the traveling should go ahead, even with a coronavirus, even with such obstacles with the economy changes or whatever's going on, and whoever's going to be president and prime minister and all this stuff, that we should go ahead. We have the power to reveal Hashem, King of the whole world, and wherever we go, and even in the biggest tragedies. And that was the power of Purim, that we were victorious. The Jews were singing, and there was simcha, and there was light, and there was v'yikar, there was the tefillin, and the kesser, the crown of what the Jewish people are truly meant to represent, and this understanding of really becoming who we are as a full, live, and spiritualized and energized nation. Yes, thank you for the people who are reaching out already. So now, Esther, like we said, even in her name is the idea of hiddenness. So we're saying that she was in constant prayer, and that relates to this concept of masks. That there's this cover-up in a way, like we said, even Moshe Rabbeinu had, whose yotzai and birthday, which was very significant because Haman thought that was the time to make the poor the lottery because the biggest righteous leader of the Jewish people passed away during his time, but he didn't see how he was also born at this time, so his light came into the world at this time. So really Mordechai joined together with Moshe. So when Moshe and Mordechai were together, there was a tremendous tikkun with charity, and like we had the Chetzi Shekel and all these eitzes and advice from the Tzaddikim, from the righteous people, and they gave us the power to destroy this force of disbelief and Haman and doubt and Lashon Hara and negativity that was existing in the world at that time, trying to persuade the world to hate the Jewish people and destroy the Jewish people. Came this light of the Tzaddikim, the righteous people, and Esther was this epitome. So this concept of mask, they didn't even know what nation she was from. Nobody knew who she was and what her makor, her source was. And it only came out just when it was needed, the revelation of who she was, just like with Yosef Asadik. Yosef we saw in Parshas Bereishis, in the Parshas and Bereishis, and at the end there when he revealed himself as the king of Mitzrayim, or the second to the king of Mitzrayim under Paro. And there's this concept I did at a certain high, I mean personally I had a haircut and I felt nice, but basically we're trying to reveal who we really are, our inner essence, and that's why we dress up. So that when we're dressing up, we're using these clothings to express a little bit what we're feeling on inside. So people make a comment, like whatever you dress on Purim, so you really want to be, okay, there's nice ideas, but the real point is that the cover up, the mask, is really reflecting that there's a whole panemius inside. That's the point. That there's this nosechain, there's this inner chain, this chokhmah to malchus, this, as Rabbi Nachman talks about, this inner wisdom, this inner content that's really uniting us all and bringing us that unity flow that we talk about in my podcast, this concept of unity, unification, the Baal Shem Tov, and Rabbi Nachman, the Tzaddikim wanted to reveal that in the world there's really this unifying force. And that really can be a big key to understanding what we're supposed to do down here. So we know who to vote, and we know how to keep the mitzvahs on Purim, with the Mechitzas HaShekel, like Rav Elgar is teaching us, or how to read the Megillah, or how to, when we stand up and hearing it, and then afterwards to do all the mitzvahs of the day, and how they tie into the revelation of Hashem's name. Each mitzvah has a different letter of the name of God. It's very, very deep. But the point is that when there's such a false kind of crowning, like coronavirus, where there's a negative experience, where people are working off fear and scared for their life. They're worried to travel, they're worried to do business, and unfortunately some business has been held up, and these are real concerns. So we have the opportunity on Purim to tap into the love, to tap into the true crown, like we said before, the crowning of the king, and that can bring us to real healing. Purim has a tremendous, just even the word Purim, has a tremendous power of refuah shlema, of giving us full healing. So the day in itself, just drinking people drink 4 cups, so however much you drink, but to drink the wine, to be able to have that connection to Ad Liyada, to enter that world which is beyond, of true understanding, of true crown, the true kesser, the true kingship, where you understand that there's something beyond you. You're not in control. That's like Gedalia has been talking about, all these big business people that he's friends with, doing big stuff in China and Hong Kong, and now they don't know what's going on. So, we feel for them. It's hard when business, and, I myself, even sitting here right now, I don't know what's going on. But the point is that you have Emuna. You have understanding that there's something beyond controlling this world, and there's a story and there's a journey, and it will turn out all good, and it will be good for you. Like I was learning with the Gemara with my son in Daf Yomi, and we're learning, thank God, we're almost finishing first Masechta Brochas, big simcha, yeah? First Masechta and Brochas in Shas, and we get into the end of that whole Masechta, and comes out a beautiful idea, Korachmana Avad L'Tov of it, says Rabbi Akiva, that everything Hashem does is for the good. Everything. So no matter what happens, even if it looks like your enemies are winning, or your markets are crashing, or you don't even know how you're going to pay. How are you going to pay this? How are you going to pay that? So what's the answer? You have Emuna. You say in Shulchan Aruch, it brings it down from Shas, that you have the mitzvah to say everything Hashem does is for the good. Kol Rachman Avad L'Tov Avid. Everything Hashem does is for the good. So then you start to believe it a little bit the more you say it. It's a mitzvah to say it. It's not just a mitzvah to say it, to think it. It's very important that the Ledaber boy, you should speak in it. Speak in Emuna, speak it out. Like we said in the Megillah, that Esther was constantly speaking to the king. This is our advice from the Megillah. to constantly speak to the king. Speak to the king. I don't know if this class is going to be good, so ask Hashem, help me say it good. I don't know. I don't know if you guys are going to share it, but ask Hashem, help them share it. Because, just sitting here talking in a room by myself, it's good. I'm saying over Torah, talking to Hashem. But at the same time, I want people to be inspired. I want people to change. We want the Emuna tour to go ahead. We want people to reach out. Someone just now from South Africa reached out a nice amount. But it's still not enough to go there, unfortunately, because we need proper hosting. It needs to be done with confidence and with strength, so the Rav can come in a normal way, in a nice flight, and arrive with Yeshiva Das. He's not so young anymore, and he needs to be healthy and well. So we need to make sure everything's done in the right way. Personally, I generally only fly economy, and that's, I understand my place. But for the Rav, we have to put him in business, we treat him properly. And, this is the idea that, I'm sitting here doing my ishtadlus, doing my work, but in the end, it's up to Hashem and it's up to the people out there to really respond in the way that's needed to make these tours, to make the opportunity to meet someone like Rav Orish. Thank God he's not, he's been around, he's not so old, he's not so young, but we need to make those places, those opportunities available while he's still able to. And that's the hope and dream that, that everything we're doing can bring us to more Emuna and to bring us to more Shefa. So something like Purim can actually bring us to a full Shlema, can bring us to full healing. Because everyone on some level needs healing. It's not, if you listen to all the latest podcasts, they're going through all the different ideas of how people need to have more healthy lifestyle and all the different concepts of vegetarianism and this way of eating, that way of eating, and all, the biome and all this stuff, how to exercise. And, we should definitely, work on all this. We should do exercise. I just went swimming today, and you got to do exercise. You got to eat healthier and make sure what you're putting in is good for you. And, I'm not saying to be vegetarian, but, Purim, I eat meat, thank God. It's a special day, it's a Yom Tov, we eat meat. We eat fish also, but the idea is that we should enjoy it, we should experience it, and it should give us healing. And that is the mitzvahs of the day. That somehow the power of such a day, it brings us so much bracha, so much blessing, we can't even understand. So we have a Purim coming up, happens to be my birthday, we get 40, think, well, maybe I'm getting a bit old, blah, blah, blah. No, this is just the beginning. We're starting to get energized by the fact that the new year has come to a conclusion, that we're just about to start Rosh Chodesh Nisan, the birthday of Rabbi Nachman, and we begin a new year, a new opportunity for everybody in the months, in the calendar of months. So we're ending, this is the 12th month, this is the climax of this month calendar, of the lunar calendar, and it's a big deal, because it's been a very special year this year for everybody in the world. There's been a lot of transition, a lot of changes, a lot of awareness, a lot of understandings, much more clarity about what life's really about, and at the same time such a balagan, so much chaos, so much pain, and that those two forces are, once again, like we say, there is this force of Amalek, there is this force of negativity that we have to actively fight in ourselves and out there, and it's something which has to take guidance how to do it. And that's, once again, we have the Garden of Emuna series. There's so many opportunities to grow and learn. So I don't want to go on too long. I just want to end off our class and basically remember that once we've clarified that Esther and Malka's whole journey was about turning to Hashem, and that was what gave her the power to save the Jewish people and be that messenger and have the name of the Megillah Esther named after her, and the whole Purim and everything comes from that empowered woman to go out there, the tzedekah that she was, to keep herself hidden in the right way and to do what she needed to do for God and to turn to God and to teach us that lesson, that every minute of the day we can turn to Hashem for our panasa, for our living, for our soulmate, for our children, for everything we need to do. We need to turn to Hashem, talk to Hashem, make it real in our hearts and our soul, and to bring other people, like Purim Day, to at your meal and all the different times of giving out shlachmanis, to really feel what you're doing, to fill the mitzvahs, to give over the shlachmanis, the gifts to other people with love, the charity, the Matanas Yivonim with love, to do the mitzvahs of the day, to enjoy the meal with love, to open your heart to Hashem, to really pour out your heart, yishpoch nafshi, to really give it over in a real sincere way. And with that power, Tetzaveh, this idea of the Kohen. This would be like this whole spiritual concept of what man can ultimately be, the Kohen Gadol. I'm also a Kohen. So you have this power to give over kindness and clarity to the world, the Urim and Turim, to light up what is the direction for the Jewish people, what is the direction for the world, to have values and to be guided in the right way, in a positive way, in a happy way, and to have mindfulness intention that brings us to those places of real connection and relationships like we spoke about last week. And this idea to really experience the day, to experience the time, Adel Yoda, to let go, to let Hashem run his world the way he should. And he's doing it anyway. We just have to let go and really see the brocha and the kindness and the blessing and the shefa, the divine abundance that's been coming down. It's raining so much in Eretz Yisrael. See that divine abundance come and clean off and heal and bring all the Yeshuas, all the salvations that everyone in the world is looking for. And everyone on this day, Purim, should experience that. Everyone we've mentioned should together and beyond, all the people joining us on our Emuna podcast, Emuna classes, should share and grow to come to a place of, please God, the Bayis Shlishi, where we'll see the ultimate redemption, where all our prayers, all our yearnings, all our needs are truly heard in the ultimate sense, and God himself reveals how much he loves us in the most revealed form of kindness, and we can experience how everything is one and everything is miraculous in the most physical, natural ways, and to enjoy this world for what it was meant for in the most true, ultimate sense. Amen. Thank you for listening. Have a beautiful week. We'll be a little bit more practical next time we have a Emuna class, but it was important to allow yourself to enter into the world of Purim and to experience spirituality in a very open, revealed way. Amen. All the best. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Please share on.